Hi, welcome back. My name is Jana Nixa, and I help people master their mindset to raise their vibe so they can truly live the life of their dreams. Today's topic is all about manifestation. I know it's a popular one. We're going to dig deep on this, and I'm going to give you 5 different things to really focus on if you want to go beyond things like The Secret and visualization. So let's dig in. Okay, so the first thing I really want you to wrap your head around is the notion of we don't attract what we want, we attract what we are. So this has a lot to do with your vibe. So it's not a matter of I'm going to visualize these things and then they're going to come to me. It's more of, everything out there is energy, where it's a vibrational universe. We're all matching up just like a radio station and tuning in to that particular vibe or station based on our mindset, based on our outlook on life, based on, just how we feel on the inside. So, I love that quote. I think it was Wayne Dyer that said, you do not attract what you want, you attract who you are. So you've got to keep that in mind when you're thinking of bringing things into your life. For example, if you want to find the love of your life, maybe don't be talking to your girlfriends about how shitty men are, or about anybody for that matter, because if you want to attract a great person, you got to be a great person. And great, it looks different for everybody, but I think you understand what I mean. Like, if you want to attract health into your life, then you have to put that effort in. You have to visualize yourself as healthy, but you also have to put in the time at the gym. Begin to shift the mindset around diet and I have to do this versus I want to do this. So it's a very different vibe. So I hope those examples make sense. And I'm actually going to do a whole video, since this whole show is called Mastering Your Mindset and Raising Your Vibe. I will be doing a video just on ways to raise your vibration in general. But I think that's really something to keep in mind. I think when The Secret came out, over 10 years ago, it was just all about, visualize it and it comes. And that is true to an extent. But, you really have to become that person and think like that person and do things like that person in order to tune into that frequency. So that's really point 1. Point 2 is this whole notion that it's just visualization. So there's a couple of things to note here. And so when you're in meditation or you're doing some visualization work, yes, visualization is huge, but you really want to put yourself in that situation. So let's say I want to live on the beach or go to the beach. So I can't just visualize being on the beach. It really needs to be more of this heartfelt joy that I feel being on the beach, visualizing being on the beach, feeling the snow, the sand in between my toes, the water as the waves come up, the sound of maybe my kids laughing in the background, the sound of seagulls, the ocean waves. I mean, you really have to put yourself there on every level. So that is really another big piece of this that I think a lot of the whole manifestation visualization leaves out, is you really need to put yourself there, believe that you're there, and feel it in your heart that you are there. So that is really the main second point. The third point I really want to drive home, and honestly guys, this is something I've struggled with for a few years, and it's taken up until really last year to understand this art of being versus doing. And again, I've gotten a lot of questions around this, so I think I might just do a video on that alone. So check it out and see if it's there in the description. I will be adding it once I get it done. So being versus doing. So I think the other common misconception, especially in the spiritual community around manifestation, is like I was doing when I was going through my teacher training to become a meditation teacher. It was, well, I should just be in flow, and these things will just come to me, as long as I visualize it and I put myself there and all the other things I'm going to talk about, then it should just come to me. And yes, a lot of that is true. It will come a lot easier than you just blood, sweat, tearsing it, trying to make it happen. However, there is action involved. Just like my scenario earlier with the gym, if you imagine yourself healthy and you put yourself into that state and you feel it with your heart and your soul and every sense that you have, but you still have to meet that with action. And so you may find yourself naturally wanting to work out more because you're visualizing these things and you've kind of got that momentum, or you may find yourself wanting to eat healthier, but you still have to put in the action of doing it and meeting that inspiration where it is. So what I want to just drive home is there is action. It's inspired action. It's not the kind of action we're used to in this 3D world where we just, like I said, the blood, sweat, and tears, and we just pound it out. It's a different type of action. It's a full energy sort of action, a full present sort of action, but there is action involved. So I really wanted to make that point clear, just in case you've been watching manifestation videos for a while and wondering, why is this not happening for me? Because we can't just sit on our meditation pillow and expect it to just, appear in front of our very eyes. And maybe that's possible in some version of manifestation, but I believe that you would have to believe so much in the unseen that it's almost impossible for most human beings to get to that state, because we don't believe that things will just appear right in front of our very eyes. We will be put in situations and you will start to see the flow, but we have so much action momentum in our consciousness that you've got to meet it there on some level. So I hope that makes sense. The next thing I want to talk about, and I don't want to say that these are two mutually exclusive things, but you've also got your reticular activating system. So the way your brain works is it wants to do what you want it to do. So what you make important, it starts looking almost like the Terminator little scope. It starts looking for the things that are going to line up with that energy for you. So just to give you an idea of how much information is out there, I don't even know if this is an accurate measurement, but I've read in, maybe it was Bruce Lipton or Joe Dispenza, and they say millions of bytes, megabytes, whatever, millions of bytes of information come into our awareness on a daily basis. But our brains can only process about 2,000 to 3,000. So what does that mean through the manifestation process? What you focus on and what you tell your brain is really important is what your brain starts to just scope out in the world. That's why, let's say you've never seen this type of car before, and then you noticed one and you decide you like it, and then you see them everywhere. That is your reticular activating system at work, because you have now told it that that's important to you. So then what your brain does is it starts seeking out anytime in your awareness and all those millions or billions of pieces of information, it seeks out and filters through your filter the thing that you said that was important to you. So for example, that car. So we do that with everything all the time. So we only let in what we tell our brain is important to us. So that's what you focus on is what comes to you, where you focus energy flows. I mean, that's how all these things work, and it has a lot to do with that reticular activating system. The last and final, fifth point I wanted to talk about with manifestation that I guess it's kind of two parts. One is, when I first read about manifestation, I love this term, and I wish it was something that I came up with, but it's not. Manic manifesting. And Gabrielle Bernstein is the one that talks about this in one of her books, or maybe one of her talks. And that is, okay, I have to do this, and I'm going to do it for this long, and then I can just, move on with my day, and this is okay, and 1, 2, I'm supposed to do it for X amount of minutes. Okay, done. And that it's that kind of frantic, desperate sort of energy, right? Almost that energy of checking things, checking a box and, getting things off my plate and okay, done with that for today. And it's not that big, full present energy that I was talking about earlier. It's just more of that sort of frantic, like I need to get this done. And then another piece of energy that goes hand in hand with that is attachment. So another big piece of manifesting is the secure and trust that it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. So when we try to manifest from that sort of desperate kind of energy, and then we hold on to it, right? When is it going to happen? Where is it? Oh gosh, it should be here by now. We set up all these expectations and all of this attachment around it. And with that attachment comes fear, because that's where that energy is coming from. Whether it's the checking the boxes and the fear of getting it right and doing, enough times, to the fear of when is it going to be here. And so when you're manifesting and you're just coming from that place in your heart and you're visualizing and you're seeing and you're experiencing it in your mind's eye and you're feeling it and you're just breathing it and letting it breathe you, there's also a part of you that just kind of lets it go and just knows that this will happen, and it will happen not on my timeline, but when it's supposed to happen. And you just kind of have to surrender to the process. So, I know with a lot of the spirituality stuff, it's a lot of the world we live in. We live in a dual universe. And so, sometimes it is about doing and and then other times it's about surrendering and trusting and letting go. So that is the 5 points that I really wanted to drive home with you guys around manifesting and how much deeper it can go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button if you did, and don't forget to subscribe so that when I produce more of these videos, you will see it and you can watch it. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Jana Nixa. Until we meet again, keep shining your light.